request our student I would like to request Manoja from students from Humanities Group to welcome all. Venkatesh sir, I think you have to enable her to speak. She's Manoja from HEPS.
Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Manoja, you can start.
Good morning and hello, everyone. A warm welcome to this beautiful morning. Respected Principal Ma'am, guests of honor, beloved lecturers, students, and my dear friends. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to today's webinar. I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to our honorable guests, Ms. Kriti S. Jain, Ms. Vasu Gupta, and Dr. Neha Goyal, our principal, Professor Pallavi Ma'am, beloved lecturers, and my fellow friends. Today's webinar is on stress management through art. Art is a very popular means of self-expression and is useful in all walks of life. This event is coordinated by Professor Rachna Gulati and made possible by Professor Pallavi. On behalf of Sindhi P. College Management, I once again wish you a warm welcome to today's webinar. Hope you enjoy talking to our guest lecturers and soak up the information you can. Now,
Hi, good morning, everyone.
A very good morning to all. I take immense pleasure in introducing the esteemed speakers of the day, who are organized named Kintsugi. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Kriti S. Jain, who is an expressive art therapy facilitator and a psychologist. She has been working in the field of mental health and wellness for more than 2 years now, and is also the part of NGOs like Teach India. I welcome you, ma'am. Next, we have Ms. Vasu Gupta, who is also an expressive art therapy facilitator. Ma'am is an artist and art curator by profession and has ventured into therapeutic art and holistic healing for quite some time. Welcome, ma'am. Last but not the least, Professor of Psychology in Education. Ma'am heads the counseling cell of her college at Noida and assist today's youth to cope up with the stress. Welcome, ma'am. Give your stress wings and let it fly away. With this thought, I hand over the platform to our first speaker, Ms. Kriti S. Jain. Thank you.
Hi, good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for giving such a warm welcome to all of us. I will first of all like to thank everyone for joining in. I would especially like to thank Principal Ma'am Professor Pallavi, Vice Principal Ma'am Professor Kanchana, Program Coordinator Professor Rachna, and all the other staff members for joining us today and attending this workshop from our organization Kintsugi. Today, we are here to talk about what all of us are going through in these extraordinary pandemic times. All of us are experiencing emotions, thoughts, situations like fear, anxiety, stress, isolation, burnout, feeling lonely, like we have never felt before in our lives. How do we get rid of all of these emotions, or how do we manage that better? Is what we will be talking about today. COVID-19 has shaken up all of us and the entire world and has created a global panic. The widespread social and economic disruption due to the pandemic has produced a psychological impact unheard of in modern times. COVID 19 has therefore also impacted our mental health and well being. Now, let's start by understanding what is mental health and well being. As you can see on your screens now, mental well being describes your mental state. How are you feeling, and how well can you cope up with your day to day life? These are the times when all of us go through a lot of emotions. Those emotions are here in front of your screen. Can anyone guess how many emotions do we have or a human experiences in whole of his or her lifetime? It's almost 34,000 emotions. We feel stressed, overwhelmed, worried, anxious, fearful, frustrated, irritated, restless, helpless. We even have difficulty in concentrating or sleeping or relaxing these days. We often feel disconnected from others. These days, it is such a different feeling that we are even scared and apprehensive about going to the public places. Public places have also become a thing of worry for everyone nowadays. All these experiences today are understandable in the face of this significant challenge we all are going through. There has been a loss of life, rapid changes to our ways of living, like we are doing right now. We are attending online sessions, online classes, working from our homes. We have so many travel restrictions, not attending social gatherings, and also the last we are even naturally concerned for our own health and the health and safety of our loved ones all the time, and it has come naturally to us nowadays. There is still so much uncertainty we all are facing, and of course all of this affects our mental health and well-being. So what can we do about it today? In the times like these, our mental health and resilience comes into play. And how can we increase our mental health and resilience? One of the ways to increase our mental health and resilience is by managing our emotions. Now, the question comes, how do we manage our emotions? The first and the foremost step in managing our emotions will be acknowledging or identifying your emotions or the feelings. Then comes, what can we do about it? What thinking about what can I do about that feeling? And the last would be taking action about that feeling, like talking to someone about what am I feeling today, or maybe drawing or dancing that feeling away, or just keeping it with yourself. So now I will ask you, have you ever felt an intense emotion but struggled to come up with a way to put that emotion into words? Of course, I feel everyone goes through this thing in one or the other time in our lives. Perhaps you are going through something difficult, or maybe you are excited about the possibility of something new, but you are not able to articulate that feelings out loud. So how can that be done? That can be done through an emotional wheel. So now on your screens, you see a wheel. There we call it that the emotional wheel, and it has a lot of emotions written on it. I would like every one of you to take a minute, read every emotion written in that wheel, and come up with an emotion or think of an emotion which feels appropriate to you right now. What are you feeling in this moment? Let's everyone take a minute and get the emotion that's written on the wheel. I would like everyone to write the emotion you are feeling in the chat box below so that we can read it. I got one reply. Sanjana writes interested. Very nice. I would like every one of you to tell me the emotion you are feeling right now. Curious. Manuja writes curious. Priyanka writes insecure. Suhan writes proud. Kumar writes interested. Suhani is peaceful. Manisha eager. Rakshita excited. Someone writes happy, curious, content, fragile. So this is the first step. Thank you all for your responses. So this is the first step where we understand what is going on. How do we acknowledge our feeling through an emotional wheel? So now, while it's hard to understand all the 34,000 emotions, we can learn to identify the primary ones and act accordingly. It's especially useful for the moments for intense feeling and where the mind cannot remain objective. Now, I will give you some history about the emotional wheel. Through, through years of studying emotion, American psychologist Dr. Robert Plutnik proposed the emotional wheel, and it is as a visual representation in front of you. He further suggested that there are these primary emotions which are written in the center of the wheel, and they serve as the foundation for all the other emotions. Those emotions will be joy, sadness, acceptance, disgust, fear, surprise, anticipation. Now, we can use the wheel to identify and acknowledge our emotions and come to terms to how we are feeling and ultimately become more self-aware and self-compassionate. It even helps us to make informed decisions, seek resolutions, gain closure, and ultimately become more self-aware and self-compassionate. Now, for a better understanding, we have a video here of emotions. In the video, it's a story about Alfred, who is in love. He is also angry, scared, shameful, sad, and lonely. His good friend supports him in his constant fight against Shadow. Now, let's see the video.
What are emotions and how do they work? Emotions are often feared and avoided because they are so painful. So why focus on emotions? Because emotions give you important information and tell you whether things are going your way. Emotions help you to survive by providing an efficient, automatic way of responding rapidly to important situations. Emotions help you to relate to other people and the expectations and demands of life. Emotions tell you what you need. When you know what you need, you can take action to meet those needs. Emotions also communicate what you feel. You learn your emotional reactions through experience. All your negative experiences can turn into a big, black, and scary feeling inside. You learned many of your emotional reactions long ago. Your black shadow will therefore sometimes resemble a person who hurt you in the past. But your emotional experience and reactions can always be changed or altered. First, you need to know something about what your emotions are. You have different basic emotions, some of which arouse you and some that calm you down. These are shame, fear, sadness, anger, disgust, happiness, and surprise or interest. You have more unpleasant emotions than pleasant ones. That means you often suffer quite a lot, but that's because the unpleasant emotions help you survive. Feelings also tend to be more unpleasant if you fight them. If you allow them to be there, they become less unpleasant. You can experience and express many different feelings, like feeling hopeless, irritated, anxious, excited, lonely, embarrassed, suspicious, content, and so on. These feelings all arise from your basic emotions. For instance, feeling suspicious springs from fear, and feeling lonely springs from sadness. And then it gets complicated. Emotions do not always provide you and your surroundings with good information. Sometimes you fake emotions to get what you want. At other times, you cover up your real emotions with other emotions. If you act like this, when you really feel like this, and your need is compassion and comfort, you will instead drive people away. If you or someone around you is supportive, patient, and curious enough to try to understand you, you might realize that you are sad and then get what you need to heal your painful emotion. At other times again, your real emotions are messed up and make a lot of trouble for you. If you were scared a lot when you were a child, you might grow up having a core feeling of being afraid. You might overprotect yourself so that no one can hurt you ever again. Everyone who was hurt badly as a child has a deep need to feel safe and a desire for someone to love them and connect with them. And heavy protection doesn't give you this. You can tell or show someone you trust that you are afraid. You can welcome the feeling of being afraid and listen to it, instead of ignoring it and covering it up. And the fear will then become more manageable. You can also change fear by means of self-compassion and assertive anger. You can stand up for yourself without driving people away. You can handle criticism, even if it hurts. You can take the chance and let people in, even if you're afraid of getting hurt again. You feel and function better when you're aware of and deal with your real emotions, even if they're painful. Your real emotions help you to get what you really need, both from yourself and others. You feel and function better when your real emotions are fresh and new, instead of stuck old feelings. You can trust your emotions if doing so gives you what you need. Stuck and misguiding emotions can change if you learn to attend to your emotions, are curious and patient with your own emotions, talk about and show your real emotions, learn to accept having different emotions, and change emotions with emotions. And all of this is easier to do with the empathy and support of another person.
I hope this video helped you understand the usefulness and application of the Plutnik's Wheel of Emotion. By navigating through the Wheel of Emotion and these golden rules in hand, life can become more manageable. Emotions and feelings, stress, all the emotions can become more manageable. Imagine a world where everyone had the language to pinpoint an emotion and understand what they felt. It will help us to be compassionate with ourselves and to others as well. Now we shall further explore how to combat our stress with Vasu. Over to Vasu now.
Sir, you have to enable her, Vasu ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Kriti. That was quite insightful, the emotion wheel. Actually, we all get lost in a maze of our emotions, and it would be so much helpful if we can dig through it and identify what exactly is the feeling that is bugging us and the source of it. Then we can find out the source about it. That was very interesting. And to continue where she left, let's identify what exactly is our predominant emotion during in this pandemic. What we are feeling during all these past 1.5 years or during these days. And I, for myself, feel very helpless. And can anyone come up? What do you feel? What is the predominant emotion in this pandemic? This helplessness, frustration, lost. We are all feeling stuck in our houses because we are not able to meet, we are not able to resume our normal routine life. And what happens when these feelings remain with us for a prolonged period, like for past 18 months, we are fighting these feelings in this pandemic, it induces stress to us. And but it is very common for all of us at various points in our life to feel isolated, lost, or overwhelmed. It can be scary actually, but we often think there is no way out. And there is usually a light to help us guide back to the safety. Let's do a very small activity, art therapy activity, which would enable us to help us to see the light, find hope, and remember that story isn't over yet. The good times are just ahead of us. I would request all participants to sit comfortably, just relax. And one more thing, it would be helpful to you if you actively participate in it. I would request everyone to actively be here. So sit comfortably and take deep breaths. Close your eyes and try to focus on your breathing. Take deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, relax. Now imagine yourself that you are lost at sea on a stormy night. You are alone in your boat. You are weary, cold, and wet, feeling stuck, hopeless, and lost. Somehow, though, with no sight of land, you are continuing to keep rowing in darkness. Breath by breath, no matter how slow, you keep rowing without any idea what direction you are heading, in faith and out of options. You just keep rowing. Unsure how long it's been that you have been lost at sea, or how long it will be before your feet touch dry land. You keep rowing over and over and over again. Your oars push through the water and carry you on somewhere, anywhere. Suddenly, you see a glimmer of light leading you to land, a lighthouse. It's faint in the distance, but it pierces the darkness and illuminates your way. It guides you home where someone is waiting for you with a warm meal, dry clothes, a place to rest your head, and most importantly, a loving embrace. That human connection you have been craving all along on this long and lonely journey at sea. It's all there waiting for your arrival if you only follow the light. Even when you were surrounded by darkness, stuck in what seemed a never ending stormy sea, that lighthouse was there, standing tall and glimmering brightly to guide you home. The journey was long, lonely, and absolutely brutal. It's not over yet. You still have to make your way to land. But in the light, everything feels different. You have found your way, you have rediscovered hope, and you know this lonely life of rowing out here on your own is not forever. You pick up speed as the heaviness fades. Your muscles have found new strength to row. They feel less heavy, and the water seems to be working with you instead of against you. You feel hope bubbling up inside you as you follow the light. Journey on, make your home. Take a few minutes to reflect upon the imagery. You can open your eyes when you feel like, when you think you are through with your imagery, or you can continue. It is all up to your wish. Just reflect upon the visualization we have been through. When most of you have been through, then we can proceed. Just let me know or raise your hand, whatever. I hope all of you have your paints, colors, and pen, paper handy with you. We'll do a small reflection through colors, through sketching or doodling. It's not necessary that you sketch or paint or draw very well. It's just that try to express yourself through colors and color pencils. That is all. Draw in color, paint an image of a lighthouse as a source of guidance in your life. You can also depict yourself somewhere in the image. Do you see yourself in a boat? Or are you on the water? Or have you already reached the lighthouse? Try to doodle all this on your paper. How stormy is your sea? Who guides you? Try to think about who guides you home when you are lost or stuck, when you feel hopeless, when you feel frustrated. Who is it that you look up to?
It's 11 o'clock.
On the lighthouse, add words, or if you want to doodle or scribble or sketch, all that represents your source of guidance in life. If you don't want to sketch, you can just write down also. There is no issue about that. It can be your faith also, your faith in something, your faith in religion, your God, your family, your friends, your some special friends, or it can also be some place which you always think up to when you are feeling lost. Or it can be some beliefs also, or some quote also, some sayings which you always tend to remember in your times of frustration and when you're depressed or down. It can also be some person who is not with you anymore. Just write down the words or doodle or scribble on the lighthouse. It can be some non-living thing also, or some other source of strength of your hope. Just try to dig in your resources, which are within you only, but they are hidden for now. Try to reflect upon it. We'll have 1 minute more for this. Actually, we can carry on this activity for quite some time. If any one of you is through it, I would love to see. We all would love to see. If you want to share, you can just hold it up on your screens. Yeah, that is good. Very nice. Anyone else? Any one of our young friends? Okay, I think we might not be short of time, so I think I can see most of my young friends still doing this on paper, and you can carry on doing it. I would advise you to glue this picture on a piece of cardboard when you're through with it and hang it somewhere you can see it each day, and reflect on what gives you positivity and strength to carry on. It's all about digging in your resources just to tap them when you need them most. You can keep adding into it also your positive affirmations, some inspiring quotes, or even some small things that are comforting to you. You can keep it beside your bedside or something that you can see in the first thing in the morning. I think oh wow, very nice. You can also add colors to it later on. You can keep adding on to it. It can be your repository of resources of strength, actually. Shall we move on, or you want me to pause for some more time to give some more time for this thing? Yes, ma'am.
Better we move on, ma'am.
Okay.
They will do it
Okay,
themselves.
thank you. So now, all of you, please rub your hands together till it feels warm in your palm. Just rub it vigorously. All of you, please do it. Look at your palms now. Try to observe the lines, the blood seeping in, the color changing. Feel the warmth and the love which you are holding right now. This is your positive energy that is carrying you forward. Ideally, if we all were together in some physical space, we would have joined our palms like this with each other, with persons next to us, and then we could have formed a very beautiful circle of energy and compassion around us. But alternately, just tap your face with the energy which you have just generated from yourself, your shoulders, your arms, your abdomen, legs, and tell aloud to yourself, I am a fighter. I am happy, I am healthy, and this too shall pass. Just tell it yourself. Okay. So, these are the positive affirmations, and you can do this even if when you are feeling very down, low, stressed. You can just shake it off, just rub your hands and generate the positivity that is lying within you. You just have to become aware of it, actually. Okay, so what we have been doing so far now, that is acknowledging our feelings, identifying the emotions through emotion wheel, and we might have used colors also to express ourselves, rubbing, the stabbing of ourselves with positive energy, affirmations, etc. These are very simple and effective interventions of expressive arts and self-care, actually. Very basic interventions which can be administered very easily at home also. Expressive arts therapy goes a long way in unblocking our energies. We all know and have experienced sometime that art is therapeutic. But expressive arts goes further, and it incorporates various art modalities like music, movements, dance, drama, play, visual arts, poetry, storytelling as therapeutic measures. And for that, you need not be an artist or a dancer or a musician or a writer to experience the healing process. The therapeutic work is based on the creative process and not on the final result, actually. Let's have a look at some self-care interventions of expressive arts therapy, which when we inculcate in our routine, it can unblock our expressions, unblock our energies, and help us get rid of our negative emotions and cope effectively with our day-to-day stress. Art therapy activities at home can be very simple and include just the bare essentials like paint, paper, or you can make use of many things that are found around the house. So some of the common steps that we can take to cope with our stress and anxiety through this is, first thing that comes to my mind is draw your mood. Just like Kriti explained, just dig into your emotions, try to identify your emotions, try to identify what emotion is governing your mood. Next, you can also go further, you can draw your mood. If stress and anxiety are getting you down, try drawing exactly what that mood looks like. Try not to tell yourself whether it's right or wrong, just let your mind go. Express the mood through colors. Which color you want, which color expresses your mood of depression, which color expresses your mood of anger, or at that time, which color comes to your mind. Try to give a shape to your emotion or mood, or any image that comes to your mind. You can also use some poem also, a quote also. You can just scribble it on the paper on which you have drawn your mood. You can make your own emotion wheel actually. You can even draw to the music. You can play some music of your choice and try doodling as the rhythm dictates. Just let your pen or your pencil or your paintbrush flow. Don't try to hold on to it. Just let it flow with the rhythm. Taking each few minutes each day to focus on your mood in a creative way can be a great addition to your self-care routine. When we are feeling very overwhelmed, even finger painting is very relaxing because we touch the colors, we touch the textures. That sensors immediately focus, shifts our focus from what that is oppressing us. Next very effective tool is journaling. Now, what is meant by journaling? It's very simply writing down your thoughts and feelings to understand them more clearly. And if you struggle with stress, depression, or anxiety, keeping a journal is a very great idea. It can help you gain control of your emotions and improve your mental health. When we start writing down that what is going in our heads, when we try to put it into the words and writing down on paper, it immediately gives us clarity. It's an effective tool for stress management and for processing our difficult emotions. It has also been scientifically linked to very important health benefits and counteracts the negative effects of stress. You can do journaling for 5 to 15 minutes daily. Write about what is concerning you most. If you are stuck that how to do it, how to start journaling, there are some pointers. Just start writing 3 things you like about your appearance. What is your favorite thing about your personality? What are you most grateful for having in your life? What is something that you want to do every day to build your confidence? What are the things you need to stop that are making you unhappy? You can also jot down, I feel peaceful when. If you make it a habit to do just devote just 5 to 10 minutes of journaling before sleeping, going to bed at night, it can be very, very helpful to you in managing your stress. Because it helps improves your mood. It prioritizes your problems, fears, and concerns. And you are able to identify your negative thoughts and behaviors and give yourself the positive affirmations to counter it. Then you can also use sculpting. It's not necessary that you go for some very fancy dough. You can use a play dough also, or you can use the dough we use for making chapatis at home. If you're feeling angry, just take a dough, just that wheat flour dough from the kitchen, and just try to give it a shape. Just try to let your emotions, your feelings flow through your hands into that dough. And if you're feeling very angry, at the end of it, just try to stamp it on the table. It will release you of your negative emotion. The malleability of this stuff is very ideal for exploring your emotions. Try the dough. Or you can just sculpt some shape about it. You can become an observer of your own emotions. You can distance yourself from what that is overwhelming you, actually. Then next we can also try this Zentangle art. It's a very fantastic self-help art therapy tool to enhance relaxation and focus. These are, if you're not able to draw some patterns or some very structured patterns, no problem. Your own mandala, your own Zentangle. Because drawing or doodling such patterns, it allows your brain to enter a peaceful flow state, which reduces anxiety and helps promote a feeling of peace. It slows down the time and allows you to focus on the present moment. Then one very lovely thing is your special comfort box. You can make your own special comfort box. Take a box, decorate it, try to store some small trinkets, souvenirs, quotes that align with your ideas of self-care into it. Use the box for items that provide comfort to you. It could be as simple as those small white pebbles which we collected when we went out for a picnic when the times were good. Or it can be picture of your friends, your family, some clips of quotes or poetry, or some pressed flowers, or your treasured jewelry, or your mementos. You can even put into it some movie tickets, some gift cards in the box that can be used when you feel drained and you are in a need of self-care. I think we all had a comfort box when we were very young. We used to store in it our special things and just keep looking at it time and again. Well, then breathing exercises go a long way in reducing our stress. You can do pranayam if any one of you do that, or you can sit in a crest lock position, standing, exhale, palm together, push hands down. Breathe in, push arms in front of you. Exhale, bring arms to your side in a fist. Breathe in, arms up and cross arm. Try to move your arms when you're breathing, because movement also releases our negative energy. Usually what we do, and especially during these pandemic times, we just keep sitting in one place. Everything is online. Okay, we have so much, so we go out so little. So there is very little movement in our limbs. Try to move your limbs and do the breathing exercises. You can also give yourself a hug when you're feeling low. Then if you are not able to manage your emotions, if you're not able to, you're feeling too overwhelmed, you can ask for help. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay if you feel tearful. It's okay if you feel like crying. Okay, cry, howl. If you feel ashamed of crying in front of your family or anything, okay, go into your room, lock your room and howl as much as you can. Blubber, whatever you want to speak out something to person. Just speak it aloud. Give it a voice. Don't store your emotions within your head. The point is to exhale it out. It's okay to feel frustrated, anxious, scared. We all are. Across the age group, we are feeling scared and anxious these days. And don't pressure yourself to carry on. Give yourself a break. If you're feeling pressurized to keep studying or something like that, okay, let it be. Push aside your books. Okay, I'm sitting and doodling, I'm painting. I'm not going to study today. Give yourself a break. Or do whatever that gives you comfort, basically. Ask for help. If you want someone to talk to you, just call your friend, or go reach out to your parents or whomsoever you find comfort with. These are very simple, small exercises, which if you inculcate in your daily routine, would go a long way in managing your stress. Now I would like our psychologist, Dr. Neha. She would be taking your queries if you have, and also she would tell something about our organization, Kintsugi Art Heals. Over to Neha, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Vasu. So, not taking much time, I'll just give a brief outline about our organization, Kintsugi, and the Kintsugi philosophy. Kintsugi is an ancient Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together as a whole, using gold to fill the cracks, a tradition that emphasizes the breaks instead of trying to hide them. This acts as a metaphor for us as humans too, teaching us to embrace our flaws and imperfections and fusing them to become stronger and more beautiful. Our organization's mission is to provide psychological and emotional healing to children, youth, and adults to cope with depression, anxiety, stress, anger, trauma, and support mental well being through creative art, therapies, counseling, and meditation. Our services include individual sessions of art therapy, counseling, meditation, and energy healing, creative art therapy workshops, training and supervision for child and youth care, etc. Thank you so much. We're open to taking questions, any queries, any questions that the students might have. Yes, students, any questions that you would like to ask, any queries?
You can post your queries in the chat box. We'll read it from there and get back to you. Either everyone has attended it very properly or, or nothing at all. Something there.
I think they are typing in chat box.
Okay, probably. Okay, so how do I concentrate on important things instead of things that scare me? Okay, right.
Uh,
Yes, Vasu.
I think if you're scared, okay, just as we did in the beginning of this session, try to dig into your emotion. What is that is scaring you? What is the source of that fear? Try to dig into that. Try to go into the source of that emotion. If you can control it, do try to control it. If you are not able, if that is out of your control, okay, stay with for a while. Try to observe your fear as an objectively. Try to distance yourself from that. Okay. And in that time, you can always go back to the things that are not important to you, but that which gives you comfort. Try to start with some small comforting things. Okay, if you, whatever you want to do, what is your passion, what are your hobbies, that if you start doing that, that will gradually lead you to manage your fear, and then you can always concentrate upon the things that are scary to you, or that are important to you.
Okay, there's another question. What are any alternative methods we can use to manage stress if we don't prefer or have access to artistic ways?
Well, you can do breathing exercises, because it's not exclusively the artistic way we have been telling. If you think about your daily routine from beginning till you sleep, art is inculcated, incorporated in each aspect of your life. I think we all do rangoli when we get up in the morning. Okay, we wash ourselves, we wash the front of our house, we make a rangoli. Okay, that is art. Okay, we most of us, we go to your religious place or somewhere our god are kept. We join our hands, huh? We do some deep breathing. We some we mumble some mantras. Okay, that is also art. So colors. How many times have you opened your wardrobe and start to think, okay, I don't feel like to wear this thing today. I don't feel like wearing blue today. That is also art. Art is inculcated in every aspect of our life. It's just that we are not aware of it. So expressive arts therapy is simply to make yourself aware that which has been with you all along.
Okay, there's another question. What else can be advised for stress caused by anxiety?
I think Neha, ma'am, you would take it academically.
I guess apart from, I mean, to tackle stress, I think basically the best approach should be that we keep ourselves engaged. Like Vasu ma'am was just saying, whatever interests you, it might not need compulsorily be something related to art. It can be anything that interests you. It can be dance, it can be music, it can be cooking, it can be anything. But basically, you have to engage yourself and keep yourself occupied and deal with your emotions, like we were just talking about in the presentation also. So I think I mean there are many ways to handle stress, anxiety, and all of us face it sometime or other. Okay, there's another. In case I'm panicking about something, what I can do to identify and calm myself down.
I would like to answer this. You can practice everybody. There is a common question that how to manage stress and anxiety. One of the methods which we haven't done mentioned in the PPT is mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice you can do sitting anywhere and everywhere. You can just pause and look around your surroundings, notice three things that are gaining your attention, or you can just eat mindfully. Like, notice the plate of your food. Whatever is there on your plate, just notice that, see what all are you eating today, and enjoy the small and simple taste of the food. You can also be aware of your own body. What is your body reacting? What is your body telling you today? I would like suggest all of you to go in deep and also read about mindfulness and how can you use that in your day to day practice. You can also notice a small leaf, the chair of your house, the chair you are sitting on, the kurti you are wearing, the clothes you are wearing, the color you are wearing today. Notice and be mindful of things. That will help you a lot in your stress and anxiety that is being caused in today's time.
Okay, someone is asking, while talking to someone else, I hesitate. How can I control myself?
How can I control myself? You can use mindfulness to do that. You can be mindful whenever you are feeling a lot of anxiety, you are hesitating, be mindful of your hands, be mindful of yourself, and shift your emotion or shift your concentration from that person to yourself, and then talk to that person. It'll help you relax for time, and then maybe it'll help you better.
Actually, this is a very deep question, and there are so many methodology which we can use uh, for improving our self-care. And I think this is too limited a platform to elaborate upon these things. We would not be doing justice to the art therapy modules interventions which we use right now. We can all your queries are always welcome in the mailbox. I think you all have our mail ID. You can always put up your queries over there. One of us would definitely get back to you and try to resolve them as best as possible.
Okay, there is somebody is asking about what are the signs of anxiety. I think that's very important.
Yes, Neha ma'am.
Some of the symptom is sleeplessness, feeling, losing control. So these are some signs of anxiety, I think. And maybe people, you yourself or people around you can also identify them, can recognize these signs.
Here's one question. Will the music and dance gives the control over our stress? Definitely is a very big yes to it. Expressive arts therapy is all about music, dance, and all these art modalities. Art therapy does not mean that it's only about sketching or doodling. It's about music also. Dance means movements also. Just as I elaborated a little while ago, if you're feeling angry, okay, you just go into your room, put on some music, even if it's a loud music, just try to dance your emotions through it. It will definitely release your stress, your negative energy that is has been blocking inside you.
Okay, someone is asking, how can I learn this, from where this art therapy can be learned?
Well, of course, we run our regular workshops. Kintsugi runs its regular workshop uh, for managing stress and all these issues, and definitely for learning the art therapy also. You can always contact us in our mailbox and we'll get back to you.
I think Kriti ma'am has shared the PDF, the brochure in the chat itself. Okay. So another question is, how can we control our emotion and focus on our studies?
Well, all this while we have been talking about these small things, the self-care tips, if you inculcate that in your daily routine, then definitely it will improve your focus and you'll be better able to concentrate on things that are important to you as well as release your stress. First, you need to de-stress yourself, then only you can focus on the things that are important to you. So just try to inculcate the self-care tips. If possible, I'll also mail those some PPTs about the things which we had shown earlier. And I think the moderator, the madam here, I'll mail that to her, and she can forward to all the students, and which could be very helpful. Journaling can be a very useful tool to de-stress and improve the concentration. Focus, it's not only about focusing in studies, it's in anything actually. Studies is only just a part, many other important things.
Okay, someone is asking, how can I feel good about myself?
But you are good.
You can do that in your journaling. 3 things, the prompt Vasu gave you before, 3 things that are good for my appearance today. Write 3 things every day in your diary or a notebook before going to sleep, and see the difference in you for after some time, after even give that 20-21 days.
I think we need to give that self-care brochure to the students over here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Should I share just now? We can send it later, probably.
Do you want us to share the PPT on the group right now?
I think you can share in email ID
Right.
so that I can share to all the students. You're all self-care therapies, as you told, and all the information better if you share, so that whenever they feel stressed, they can read and they can come out.
Yeah.
Right.
And thanks a lot for such a wonderful and informative session. And now I would like to request Professor Palvi ma'am to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rachna ma'am. And I must thank all the three wonderful, beautiful women who have logged in all the way from Noida. And this was the need of the hour, I must tell you. We've been only talking about academics, grading, and where the students are going to, find themselves in the days to come in terms of their marks. Are they going to be promoted? Are they going to be at home? Are they going to come to college? Are they going to stay back at home for the rest of the year and things like this? These questions are haunting each one of us today. And I guess at the time like this, when we ourselves do not have answers, you've brought in a beautiful way of addressing problems that students face in particular, and we as individuals. Let's try and put all of us in the same boat. We're all sitting in the same boat. We do not have answers. Let's try and come to terms with it that emotions is something that we don't control, but we have to manage. So let's accept that all those, ma'am, I just made a note. You said how many emotions that we all run through. Average human being has
34,000.
34,000. Oh my God. We only talk about anger, you talk about anxiety, we talk about depression, and those commonly used term 34,000 of them all. That is itself has brought in a lot of stress today. So there was one thing that I thought, because they're all students, and definitely there are few things that I have personally tried on myself from a very long time, and it helps me. And when you said, please write it down, I have and show it up there, but I'm feeling young at heart. I do it myself. I've written the lighthouse, I've written the board. I'm there. I'm very bad at drawing an artist though. But I always see a ray of hope whenever there is a problem, and then I don't give up. And this is what you also said. When you write it in colors, you bring out all those emotions that are there within us, and we put it up in the paper. What I do is I do all of this, write it, because I write excited there, I can be happy, I write happy, I feel depressed, but definitely not that 30,000 plus emotions. What I do, I write it and I tear it. I crumble it, I tear it, and I put it in the dustbin. For me, that is over. That's the end of the story. And I guess the therapies that you have also listed, ma'am, the Zentangle art, special comfort box, brilliant. It's so beautiful to put all your goodies and the beautiful things that you like and you thought about into a box, and then breathing exercises. Yes, meditation gives answers to all the emotions. And I think if I could, please, if you could all permit, I would like to quote one verse from Bhagavad Gita for all of us here. Sri Krishna says this, and when you have to talk about emotions, what other guide can you look forward to apart from Gita? He says, Sanshanam Mahabaho Mano Durnigagham Chalam Abhyasene tu Kaunteya Vairagena cha Grishyate. The translation is, the mind is undoubtedly restless and difficult to curb, but it can be controlled by repeated practice and detachment. So to talk about detachment at an early age would be a little difficult, but practice definitely can give answers to a lot of problems that we have been encountered with. And I would recommend and emphasize students out here and all of them, all right to feel depressed. It's all right if you're going through problems, and it's all right to ask for help. Because we've always been told that, control, control. I guess this word brings out a lot of negative aspect in a human being, and they start behaving in a crazy manner. So it's all right to feel low. It's always reach out to our therapist. So I guess the techniques that you've all presented and shared to our students will definitely help us, and we will be writing into you, and we will keep in touch with your organization so that we could benefit out of your knowledge and also the techniques that you're going to share in the days to come. Thank you so much for the time, and I must thank Rachna ma'am for roping in such wonderful people and giving us an opportunity to interact with you all. And please do visit our college when you're there in
Thank
Bangalore
you so
next
much.
time.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.